Good afternoon, everyone here at Balance Innovation Hub, and everyone who is joining us via Zoom. We have a very nice meeting planned today. We've got some guests that you'll be hearing from shortly, and then also we have Bill Manby Jr. and Thane Billow will be bringing the presentation today on the Rotary International Foundation. So let me just officially open this up. To have everyone here today. This is a great week, one of my favorite weeks, in that we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving here in 2 days. And I love the holiday because it's simple, it's sweet, and it allows us to really develop and honor an attitude of gratitude. So is Karen Herlick online?
No.
Okay, Karen actually had our invocation today, and I'm going to be bold and see Mr. Brian Kima. Would you be willing to stand in for Karen today and to do our invocation? A man for all seasons. Thank you.
Should rise, right? Should we rise? Yeah, let's rise for the invocation. Pardon me. Please bow your heads with me. Dear God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the food. We thank you for the hands that prepared it. Thank you for our President Steve and his leadership of this club and the great way he's carried us through particularly such a difficult time. Thank you for the presidents before him as well who have taken this club to this point. Thank you for all the hands within a Rotary that serve so well. For this truly is a place that puts service above self, and we pray that we would continue to do that. And may we also continue to keep the 4-way test at the forefront of our minds in all the things that we say, all the things that we think, and all the things that we do. Amen.
Thank you, Brian. And as we're standing, if you would join me in the 4-way test.
Pledge first. Oops, hang on. I know I have them the other way. Hang on.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And now, if you join me in our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And I'm going to ask Mr. Connor Jarvis if he would come forward. I know we have a number of visitors with us here today, and we'll be meeting a couple of them here rather shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Bowie. For those that were not greeted by me, lovely Cheryl Warren is always quick to point out when I indicate too long and when I'm not doing my job as greeter. So I appreciate that, Cheryl. But no, in all seriousness, love you, Cheryl. So we have a few guests with us today. A few Kiwanis members are here, and I'm not certain if they came with anyone in particular. So if you did, please stand up. But we have Mark Fairhurst, Stephanie York, and Audrey York. And one online as well, I was told.
Yeah, have them stand.
Yeah, can you guys please stand? Go ahead.
All
And
right.
2 more on Zoom. Okay, there we go. So Julie, thank you so much for welcoming your guests. And Stephanie, Audrey, Mark, who are the 2 online? Two more here. Okay, I apologize. Larry? Dennis. Okay, I only had noted that 3, so all 5 of you are Kiwanis members. And Frank.
Frank.
All right. Well, welcome. So
You definitely weren't doing your job.
I guess not. Jenny, yeah, so I know Jenny, you had a guess.
Can't hear me.
Oh, I said years ago when I first became a Rotarian, and we were meeting at the Martin Center, it was traditional for the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to join the Kiwanis, because they were meeting on Thanksgiving Day. So we're starting tradition over that, and welcome to you all. And my grandfather was past president of Kiwanis.
Thank you, Jenny. Yes, absolutely. Welcome, Kiwanis members. Wonderful to have you here. And I know Doug, Larry Griffin was a guest of yours specifically as well, too, or no? No? Okay, I'm going off my sheet here, so I apologize. It's all right. It's all right. So, guys, welcome. Thank you for being here. And for those online, you know, the couple that are on there, thank you very much for joining us virtually today, too. Other than the wonderful Kiwanis showing we have, I do not have anyone else on my list. So are there any other guests present with us today or online that we want to make sure are welcome? All right, well, Steve, then back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Connor.
Time out. Mr. President. Mr. President.
Yeah, Steve, can you hear us?
Say yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, John Daly has a couple of guests in his room he'd like to introduce.
My son is here from Gunnison, Colorado. And Dr. Rob McGregor is also here with me for this meeting.
All right.
Of course, he's a member.
Welcome. Thank you both for joining us. Thank you, John, for speaking up.
Thank you, Connor. Hey, I wanted to see, since we do have so many Kiwanians, if either you or Dennis would want to just share something and bring us a little bit up to date as to what's going on with your organization.
Thank you. So I am also a Rotarian. Actually, I've been a Rotarian for over 30 years in Talmadge, but I've been a Kiwanian as well for, I guess, almost 10 years now. And our downtown Akron Kiwanis Club actually looked at the downtown Akron Rotary Club and looked at the model in terms of what you've been doing for years and years and years. And we've all helped with branding and fundraising. And so for a long time now, we have not done either branding or a fundraising event. So February 10th, we are having a big event at the John S. Knight Center where we will start, this will be the inaugural, we will annually recognize the Educator of the Year Award, the Community Liaison in Education Award, and a student or a group of students from one of our key clubs or middle school builders clubs. And so this year, the awardees will be Superintendent James, former Superintendent James, primarily for the way he transformed Akron Public Schools secondary education with the academies. And then we are also recognizing Michelle Campbell, along with LeBron Family James Foundation, for everything they've done for our community, and specifically with the I Promise School. And then we have a builder, now a high school student that started in our very first Builders Club that almost single-handedly raised money to supply wheelchairs for our adaptive sports basketball program. And so in conversation, Stephanie and Julie serve on a lot of the same committees and boards together. And Julie, with approval from your club, you guys will be one of the main sponsors for our event. And so we're very thankful for that. And then based on what Mrs. Weiner said, we hope to start this tradition again, at least getting together once a year, if not more. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. I'm going to make my way back up to the podium here. And I just want to say to Julie Brandel and to Jenny Wino, a hearty thank you for having this on your radar screen, and for Stephanie and for everyone involved in us coming together, because quite honestly, we are brothers and sisters in arms, and we have one thing very much in common, a big heart for serving our city and for making a difference. And, you know, with us working together, I have a feeling that 1 + 1 is a lot more than just simply 2. So thank you. And found out today that Larry Griffin and Doug Cole have quite a history. They go back over 30 years plus with the YMCA. So it's nice to see all these connections revisited. Okay, do we happen to have any Rotary ambassadors in this last week? Anyone online? Okay. Is anybody happy today? And I would like, here's what I would like to propose. This is my toast, as it were. I'll start us off with happy dollars, but as I opened up our meeting, I was talking about this being Thanksgiving week, and I think we all have something that we can be exceptionally thankful for. And I happen to work in the field of education. I have a brain cognitive skills training center. And one of the things that we know about the brain is that gratitude positively affects you mentally and psychologically. And so I would like to hope that maybe each person would be willing to consider some type of participation in happy dollars. It doesn't have to be big or drawn out, but I'd like to start by giving $10 today. And this last year was a very challenging year for my family. And my bride of 37 years came through a really intense struggle with breast cancer, but we ended up getting the best possible outcome in that. And additionally, we were welcomed with the arrival of our first grandchild, little Calvin Thomas, and so he's 6 months old. And so I am exceptionally thankful for how this last year has turned out favorably. Anybody else that's happy today?
Sure,
Thank you, Steve. Cheryl?
sure.
I'll come out here so I can see let me change the Zoom camera first so we can see everybody online.
Let's see. There we go.
Okay, so I have 5 happy dollars. Thanksgiving is my absolute favorite holiday. And both my nieces are due with their babies in early December. So I have my 5 happy dollars. Here you go.
All right.
We had a family gathering last night that was spectacular at your bus.
Very nice. Well, thank you, Cheryl. So Cheryl was $5 happy, Steve 10. I'll just go through the rows here. So Bill Manby Jr. got some happy dollars.
Stacking up 3 happy dollars in my wallet. So I'm thankful to, again, have my dad here, get the family together for Thanksgiving, having my son home, and then also wanted to announce that we're having our Christmas party. Santa will be there at Super Learning Center on the 16th of December. We're doing a party for any of those who have been there in the past. Usually Santa visits all the rooms first, and then they put together a program. All the kids get together and do a program. We're pivoting the agenda a little bit this year, where we're gonna have them do the program over lunch. So we have pizza and stuff at lunch where people can come. So those of you who wanna come just for lunch, you can do that. They're gonna do their program over lunch. If you'd like to come beforehand to visit some of the rooms, or even stay afterwards, or both, it doesn't matter. But try to circle that on the 16th. It's a really special day. It's pretty much my favorite day of the year, which is hard to say when you have kids and a family, but it's a really meaningful day. So.
I can attest to that. Yeah, it's a phenomenal event. So thank you, Bill. Bill, Mr. Manby Senior.
So I have in my wallet today $5. I I just want to let people know how grateful I am just to have Rotary, and so happy to be back. Thank you.
Wonderful to have you back here. Thank you for the $5 happy dollars. All right, Mr. Billow.
Trying to fix this and I can't get it fixed.
Yeah, I don't have any money on me, but they always seem to invoice me around the pay. But I have 10 happy dollars. The first 5, just want to give another welcome to Dennis Lowry, Mark Fairhurst, as well as all of the Colonians. I don't know all of you. I've known Dennis and Mark since I've been a kid. I went to Talmadge High School with their sons, so always wonderful seeing you guys here. Thank you again for not only everything you do for our community, but also for the city of Talmadge. Rest of that donation, I do want to give $5 happy dollars for our Akron Chili Open coming up. I think in it's crazy, 7 or 8 weeks it's coming up. But behind the scenes, our committee has been working very hard. The good news is our corporate sponsors, who we've relied upon very heavily the last couple of years, they are coming through once again. So with their additional donations this year, we'll be able to offset some costs that are going up due to inflation. However, the work is not done because you guys know this just as well as me. The Chili Open is really a grassroots effort. We get it done by selling raffle tickets, donating to the raffle.
I just got knocked
having
off.
$500 and $1,000 campership donations. So please, please, please think of the Chili Open as you're making your year-end gifts. Please join our committee. We cannot do it without you guys. I know we're gonna have another great year. So again,
Voluntary.
thank you for that. That's why I'm happy.
Thank you, Thane. Lots to be happy about there. So I'll keep going through the rows here. And did Ryan or Brian have to put you on the spot? Okay, nope.
You're the host
It's
now.
Mr.
Can
Miller.
you start spotlighting?
Miller Hall.
I lost
I'm sorry, I was
everything.
looking at David Hall.
I have $5 happy dollars. Like Cheryl, Thanksgiving's my happiest holiday. I really enjoy it.
We're seeing
Thankful
you.
that my family will be all
We're
in for
seeing you
Thanksgiving. I see Larry, Mark, and Frank. So, and I'm not sure if I had the chance to meet you before I had left Kiwanis or not. But at any rate, thank you.
Great to see you, Mark. All right, who else is happy? All right, Stephanie, yes. Believe, I took a risk there. I butchered the greeting. It is Stephanie, right? All right.
So I have $3 happy dollars, one for each of my kids. I got my one here from Kent State. I have one in from Penn State Behrend, and then my 13-year-old lives at home. But it's great to have all the kids under the same roof for a week. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you for being here, Stephanie, and thank you for the happy dollars. All right, all right. One of our other guests, happy dollars.
Hi, thanks again for letting us kind of sneak in the back door on you. We really appreciate the partnership of all of us being here downtown. Happy dollar today is to my wife, 27 years, retiring from Talmadge Elementary School. She's done with the little kids. She's happy. So anyway, to her.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Yes.
Thanks. I have a couple of happy dollars for my daughter, who is a graduate of the world famous Kent State University School of Fashion Design. She just took a new job with Aerie. How many people know Aerie in here? It's going to be all mostly women under the age of 45, probably. But we got some guys in here too. So, well, whenever I ask the question about Aerie, it's but it's a cool place. She's excited, living the dream in Manhattan.
Wonderful. Congratulations to your daughter, Doug. All right. Coming around. Oh, Susan. Yes, I figure I'll work my way around. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have $5 happy dollars. Because I had the privilege of interviewing Serena Hua on Saturday, and she's going to be our second exchange student for 22-23. So that means we have a short-term student going out and a long-term student going out. And that's wonderful news.
Thank you, Susan. Yes, sir, Larry.
I might be the only person happy about this. The winter season is coming upon us. And I just love winter. I'm a snowboarder, And I teach at Breckenridge,
Everything's gone.
Colorado during the holidays, and then I also teach at Boston Mills for that like 6-week season that we have here.
I can't change
Yeah, I'm
it.
excited about
I
it.
can't change it because I
Here we
lost
go.
power.
Oh, he lost.
Looks like
Yes,
I might, you
I
know,
lost
if my wife was here, she'd be having me sign up because I can't ski worth a lick and I've never been on a snowboard. So.
Brian's telling me to check power cables.
Thank you. I have 10 happy dollars, and Tommy would call them happy bucks, but we're not as sophisticated as you guys. But I'm extremely happy with all my years in Rotary. I'm very thankful to Thane and his family, and we as a board are extremely grateful for you guys joining us in our fundraiser. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Anyone else happy here? Well, it's been a very happy day, and rightfully so, I'd say, with Thanksgiving coming up. We've got worth of $70 of happy dollars today. So thanks to everyone. Steve, back to you. Anyone, well, or anyone online, do we want to ask?
We're having some technical difficulty with our connection online. Are we back on? Do you know?
They can see you.
They can see us, but we can't see them. Is that correct?
You can see them,
Okay.
but
as
I
far as
can't
like-
do anything more.
Okay.
Terry can talk to you.
Okay, there's Dr. Rob. Do you have some happy dollars, Rob?
Anyone happy?
Sure. I was actually waving to make sure you saw us, but I'm always happy. I will give 5 happy dollars. 2 for the gentleman I'm sitting beside. It's really nice to have some in-person company. And the rest, I'm heading to Florida to spend Thanksgiving with my 12-month-old grandson and his mom and dad.
Brian said it's an computer.
Awesome. Very nice. All right, so with Rob's 5 and then Thane, I forgot his IOU. That puts us north of 90, I think, now too. So very happy day for the club. Anyone else on Zoom? And sorry, I didn't ask soon. All right, I think we're probably good, Rob, or Steve.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We kept you busy today, running around.
I know. Get my steps in.
We do have one other announcement before I introduce today's speakers. And this is surrounding our upcoming Christmas party here. And it's going to be a nice time. It's going to be on Tuesday, December the 21st. And I'm going to invite back up the resilient Mr. Flexible, Brian Keeman.
You should see my split. All I want for Christmas is you. Hey, everyone. December 21st, Rotary Christmas holiday party here at Dallas Innovation Hub. Here's why you should come. There will be great food, drinks, we got some little games. Don't worry, it's not like my family. We're not going to embarrass you. They're easy. Anyone can play them. We have a nice little program present, and we put a lot of hard work into the planning of this party. And those are all good reasons why you should come. But I think the biggest reason why you should come and why I really want to encourage you to come to this party is because this club needs this. There's one thing I've learned in the past 20 months, it's the importance of community. And you may have a great community where you live, friends, family, I don't know. But there may be people in this club who are counting on you for their community. So come back, Rotary Christmas Holiday Party, December 21st. I'm not going to say the price tag. I don't want to get it wrong. I'll let you share about that, Steve. And it's going to be fantastic. And I will see you there.
Thank you, Brian. And what I wanted to say in addition to that is I agree wholeheartedly about the importance of community and fellowship. And it's been a very dark season. It's been a very cold season. No offense there, Larry, but I'm talking, relationally by what we all have had to pass through with COVID. But we're gonna transform this place in here because we're not gonna have these crazy straight up tables. We're gonna have round tables, we're gonna have linen, we're gonna have nice china and such, and it's gonna be a very, very, there's gonna be music, a very, very nice time together. And so I'm hoping that we can have in person somewhere close to 40 or 45 people. And we're going to give some consideration as to what we might be able to do for those folks who simply, under whatever circumstance, could not make it here. So we're in the process of giving consideration for that as well. One other item that kind of goes along with the spirit of Thanksgiving is that some of us have been around for a number of Christmases. And some of us have only had a few Christmases, but we want to allow you the opportunity to put together something on paper about a Christmas memory. It can be yours, it can be something that you remember of your grandparents being at their home or your parents or whatever. And our three MCs, Mr. Brian Kima, Mr. Thane Billow, and Mrs. Nicole Major are going to be sharing those with us. But please give some thought to that, because I know we all have various experiences, and some of them really stand out. So take the time to put something together, and you can send it our way. You can send it to any of us, Brian, to Cheryl, to myself, and we'll make sure Thane or even Nicole, and we're going to pick some of those and read some of those. But this is going to be a really, very much of a nice time of coming together and celebrating on Tuesday, December 21st. And I will announce the price next week. We've looked to be wise and frugal, but we've also looked to put on a really exceptional time of coming together. All right, today we are privileged to have with us Bill Manby Jr. and Thane Billow, and they're going to be sharing with us about the Rotary International Foundation. And I'd like to also honor Bill Manby Sr. for all of the many years of service that he has given to serving in this arena, and say thank you for your involvement with Paul Harris and so on and so forth. And we really appreciate you, and it's nice to have you back, and hope that you have a great time with family and friends. So gentlemen, why don't you come on forward? It's all yours.
Can you move the bell? Little table.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all of you who are online. And I think it's kind of funny that if a successful venture capitalist and a funeral director got up in front of their friends and colleagues and asked them for money, it would probably be the start of some sort of bad joke that somebody like Connor Jarvis would share. But it turns out this is actually not a joke. Bill Manby Jr. and I are honored to be your co-chairs for the Rotary International Foundation Committee. And what I'd like to do is first just thank not only Mr. Bill Manby Sr., but also Linda Farkas for all of the good work they have done in the last few years being the champions for this cause. And I would say it's with great humility that Bill Jr. and I step forward to carry on your good work. So our goal for today, maybe just start out with an introduction, we'll do some education. We can share with you some of the goals that President Bowie has set for our club. And then in the spirit of giving thanks, we can maybe end today's presentation by thanking those members of our club who have given so generously to the foundation, as well as if anyone would like to make a donation going forward, we can solicit those asks at the end. So first, three-legged stool. That's something we talk about a lot here within Akron Rotary. Just a quick show of hands. Who can name the three-legged stool? Okay, we got one. Anybody online? There's probably a few folks online. That three-legged stool, that's an analogy we use to talk about the three good organizations here locally that advance the causes of Rotary. The three legs of that stool are the Akron Rotary Club, the Akron Rotary Foundation, and the Akron Rotary Camp. So that is how we as Rotarians serve our community here locally through those three legs of the stool. What I'd like to introduce to you today is a completely separate organization that is made up of thousands and thousands of humanitarians across the world. And that is the Rotary International Foundation. That is how we, so to speak, put our boots on the ground as Rotarians throughout the world. So just a little bit about RI. We're going to show a video in a few moments, but just a statistic from a couple years ago, 2019, that's really our last full year of giving prior to COVID. I know we've been in this twilight zone the last 18 months, 24 months, but prior to COVID, our last full year, did you know the Rotary International Foundation raised over $400 million to support Rotary causes throughout the world? And did you know that you, as dues-paying members of our club, did you know you're already donating to the foundation? We send a portion of our dues to the foundation to advance all the good work that they do. And then we're also here today to tell you a little more about individual members of our club who have stepped forward to make additional contributions to our RI. So at this time, we'll probably share a quick, it's a 2-minute video, just to give you a flavor of all the work we do internationally. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Did you know that there were 7 causes that our Rotary International Foundation supports every year? And those are 7 causes in addition to end polio now, which I think is something all of us as Rotarians know, that Rotarians teamed up with medical professionals to help end polio. But there's 7 other causes. And Steve Schneider, longtime member of the Akron Rotary Club. How many of you guys still remember Steve? Yeah, so he worked in insurance and employee benefits. And that is a horrible industry to be in because it's so cutthroat and so competitive. And Steve had this saying that I really picked up on. Okay, yeah, Steve had this saying that I picked up on. And that was, if you're going to get a sale, you can either educate the individual and give them the power to choose, or you can take the hearse and back it up in the front door. So you guys know I am a professional hearse driver, but that's not what I'm going to do today. I would much rather educate you on all the good work we do through the foundation and then give you the power to choose where you'd like to support. So please do not feel like there's any pressure today. But our Rotary Foundation, we've identified 7 specific causes that we put all of our good will and good efforts towards. Those 7 causes, which I'll go through quickly, are peace building and conflict resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water, sanitation, and hygiene. Now, that's something we often overlook here in the United States, but that is a very real concern in other countries. Maternal health, so mom health and child health, basic education, literacy, the gift of reading, community and economic development, so helping those third world countries advance their economies, as well as supporting the environment. And I know in an environment like today, there's so many issues, so many causes out there that can be polarizing. And I think all of us can agree that these 7 causes are universally supported. They are fundamentally good and they deserve our support. And in addition to that, I want to mention End Polio Now, which remains something near and dear to the cause of Rotary International, and that is ending polio. And for the last 35 years, Rotarians have done a phenomenal job teaching, teaming up with medical professionals to end polio. That vaccination drive started in 1979, and since then, looks like 6 million children have been vaccinated in the Philippines, for example. And then today in Afghanistan, those are the 2 remaining countries in the world where polio exists among children. So continuing on, there's a lot of folks who have pledged their own resources, who have been very, very generous to the Rotary International Foundation. And at this time, I'd like to invite Bill Manby Jr. up to recognize some of those folks who have joined our Paul Harris Society. That's one of the many ways that you can donate to RI. And then Bill, would you also like to recognize some of those folks who are major contributors, major donors? Well, thank you.
Thanks, Thane. I'd like to also thank Thane for stepping up. My dad took this on. He didn't know it when I became president almost 10 years ago that I get to elect officers. So I dropped this project in my dad's hands, and I will have to tell you that we were sort of a fledgling club as it came to supporting RI. We were really good at supporting our camp and some of our local causes. But I think our first year in, my dad got 12 new Paul Harris Fellows, which was a really, really significant accomplishment. And I'll also point out Thane did the agenda, and he handled 1 page, and I get to handle 3. So I'm not sure how that worked out.
If you get tired.
Yeah. So, but as you can see in the handout that you have there on page 3, how many participants we have within this fine Paul Harris Fellow recipient. And that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, I think when we look down at how many members we have and how many are Paul Harris Fellows already, it's nearly half the club. So I think for 1 minute, you guys should all give each other a hand just for how well we've done as a club, because I think it's far away. So as a lot of you may remember, pre-COVID, we used to do a lottery. So in order to achieve a Paul Harris Fellow, it's a commitment of $1,000 to Rotary International. And what we did, I think back a little bit before maybe when my dad took over, is we instituted a lottery where everybody could put in $250 a year. And over the course of 4 years, we draw 1/4 of those participants. So you could achieve your Paul Harris Fellow in year 1, you could get it any of the other years, and worst case scenario, after the 4th year, you will receive your Paul Harris Fellow. So if you can see at the top of this second page, we have a number of lotto participants. Part of what our goal is today is some record keeping. So it's been difficult keeping up with everything over the last couple of years. We have not awarded a lottery winner in my mind in the last couple of years. So we are going to confirm our records with everybody who's there, confirm where we are, and reinstitute that lotto. So anybody who's interested in doing that, please let us know. And then we will schedule a drawing here probably by the end of the year. I would also like to acknowledge 2 of our most recent recipients. So Doug Cole is a new Paul Harris Fellow, and Thane, if you want to, would you mind coming up, Doug?
Stand in front of the camera.
I don't know, is Vivian Herrick, did you see her online or? So Vivian is also, she is now a 6-time
Stand
Paul
in front of the
Harris
camera.
Fellow recipient. So we will get this to her when we see her. Thanks, Doug. Congratulations. So when you become a Paul Harris Fellow, you get this larger circular pin that acknowledges it, and then each year or each time you do another Paul Harris Fellow, they add a jewel. I don't know what we would call this that they add to it. And this, as Thane was saying to Doug, it's probably one of the most expensive pieces of jewelry that you'll own, right? Because it's $1,000 a pop, but it's well worth it, and I think it's a heck of an achievement. Thanks, Doug. I also take a little time. Well, I guess we found out within the last couple of weeks, we have 2 new Paul Harris Fellows joining us. So Terry Dalton, I know you're online someplace. Thank you, Terry. And then I think today, Connor Jarvis.
He just left.
He just left, of course, so we can't acknowledge him. But he just committed to being a Paul Harris Fellow. So a little round of applause for those 2 folks.
Bill, just to add something real quick with Connor. He not only pledged to be a Paul Harris Fellow, but he also has joined our Paul Harris Society. And the difference between being a Paul Harris Fellow, that's a one-time donation of $1,000. The Paul Harris Society membership, that is a $9,000 pledge, pledged and paid over 9,000 years. Just kidding, it's $9,000 over 9 years. So it's $1,000 per year, and it's a continued support to Rotary International. So we want to thank Connor.
And if you can see in your handout, we have also listed all of our Paul Harris Society members. And then I'd like to take just a few moments to acknowledge some of the more even significant contributors. So the Arch Klumph Society, those are for folks that have committed over $250,000 to Rotary International. And we have 3 of those people in our club: John Daly, Jack Herrick, and Vivian Herrick. So I think they deserve a big round of applause. And then the Bequest Society, which is basically a commitment to leave Rotary International in your estate plan. And there is no monetary requirement to it. It's just a commitment to leave something to them. We have 4 of those: Stu Buchanan, myself, my father, and Cheryl, actually 5, and Steve Warren, Cheryl's husband. We also have several major donors, and those are the ones that have given $10,000 or more. So the GAR Foundation, David Corbin, Stu Buchanan, I think I saw Stu here, my father, Cheryl, and Steve Warren as well. And this is probably a good time to bring up the Centennial Society. So those of you who are newer members to the club might not even remember when we launched this initiative, but some of us have a little bit different badges than others. But what we did probably 10 years ago now, or maybe, is we created a plain giving program here at the club. And you heard Thane mention the 3 legs of the stool. We basically have a 4th leg, obviously, in Rotary International, that we have created a Centennial Society that if anyone leaves a bequest in their estate plan to any of those now 4 legs, whether it be Rotary International, whether it be the club, whether it be the camp, or our Rotary Foundation, you become a member of the Centennial Society. And we have new badges printed up that have magnets on them. That was a really big deal back then because all of our badges had pins that you had to push through your coat. Some of them I still think might be that way, but we are going to have more on that in the future. But I think it's a really nice way to do something that doesn't necessarily impact you financially now. I know a lot of our younger members would just make a change to the beneficiary of an insurance policy to say, hey, I'd like to leave $10,000 to camp or something in that order. But it takes both, right? I mean, we always want to get current dollars to accomplish things, during our presence here. But the impact that we can make by considering Rotary and its causes in our estate plan is very, very significant. To the tune of our initial couple of years, we have committed over $1.7 million, which is a big big number and impact to this club. Do we have anything else on the agenda? I just would like to thank a couple people. Cheryl, you have been amazingly helpful in us pulling this together. I appreciate that. My father and Jack Herod are our senior consultants, is what we call them. They basically do everything we can't figure out on our own. And they've been very, very committed to this program. I gotta thank Thane for stepping up because and anyone who's interested in talking to us about being on the committee, it's really more about, as Thane said, the awareness of it, you know, but we also will remember that if you say you're interested, we have our ways to track you down. So again, we probably should close on Steve's initiative, right? So, no, not close. So Steve, you have a goal for the club this year. Did you maybe want to share what your goal is in Rotary International or Paul Harris Fellow commitments? Do you remember?
Did you know you set a pretty high bar for us? We've been working hard.
Yeah.
So
The mic?
$1 million.
Whoa.
No. Steve's goal was $20,000 that we would get through Paul Harris Society on his Rotary calendar year, so I guess fiscal year, which would be through the end of June. So we are about halfway there to our goal. We'd love to have Steve accomplish his goal by June to have 12 new Paul Harris Fellows. We have a little bit of a reward / incentive for those of you that are interested in doing that. Our club earns points through Rotary International for Paul Harris Fellow credits. So we have some extra points. So there's two things we want to offer. One, we have anyone who will commit to being a Paul Harris Fellow by the time Steve is done in June. We will allow you to award a Paul Harris Fellow to whomever you choose. They don't have to be Rotarians. They could be a relative. They could be a friend. They could be someone who's meaningful to you. The other thing is there's a lot of people, some of them sitting in this room and on this call that are very, very close to achieving another Paul Harris Fellow. So we are going to be reaching out to you to let you know. I mean, when I say really close, some people are like within $50 of another Paul Harris Fellow. So part of this is just bringing back awareness to this program. The other part is we really need your guys' feedback, not only from a participation standpoint, but help us understand and make sure that what we have here is correct. And if you have questions on where you stand as it relates to maybe achieving another Paul Harris Fellow, we'd love to be able to address that.
yeah, so thank you again, Bill. Maybe just to wrap this up and bring it home, Steve has set a goal of $20,000 raised for RI. If you look at the handout, you'll see our Paul Harris Society members. Those are folks who are making routine contributions. You count them up, folks that have maybe not vested already, they're still giving. We already know that we're going to have $12,000 coming home there. Those individuals who have made their commitments today, that is on top of that, we really want to make sure we can close that $8,000 gap so that Steve can achieve this goal. But then also is this added starters incentive that Bill had mentioned. It's a great way to recognize folks who do a lot for our club. So maybe they're not going to make $1,000 contribution themselves, but if you make $1,000 pledge to become a Paul Harris Fellow, with the points you earn, you can recognize someone for their good work. So just like, for example, somebody like Jeff Sheeks, who spent a lot of time leading our Chili Open committee, very, very worthy selection for a Paul Harris Fellow. Just a thank you for all the good work you've done. So please feel free to reach out to Bill and I. If you have any questions, you can certainly catch us after the meeting or email us. Or if you'd like to sign up today, we can take your donations now. So if you'd like, we will be in the rear of the room. So thank you all again. And Steve, maybe I'll bring you up for the raffle.
Questions?
Oh, yeah. What questions do you have?
Yeah, that means we either did really well or really bad. So, well, thanks again, everybody, for your attention. Look forward to seeing you. To make one person happy and everybody else upset. So 227-728. Cheryl's not looking, so that's a good sign. Last three are 728. Bingo.
I forgot to buy them. Good job, guys. Yeah. You're fine. Guys.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that enlightening presentation. And you might say, you might be thinking out there, well, $20,000 is a pretty lofty amount. But one thing I do know about this club, and I know about our membership, is that you are very generous, loving, giving people. And we truly are making a difference. And it's exciting to be involved in an organization that is worldwide. And so to see those kinds of numbers, very, very encouraging, and quite exciting to see how this transition took place in going from Bill Sr. to Bill Jr. and to Thane. And the Manbys and the Billows are very much committed and have been for generations now to positively impacting Akron, Ohio, and reaching to the ends of the earth. So thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, everyone there on Zoom, everyone here today in the room. Jeff. Yes, Mr. Jeff Sheeks, come on up.
Good job. Right.
Good afternoon. Hey, just real quick, I was thinking about the Christmas party. And what I'd like to do as co-chair of the Chili Open is, on that date, on the 21st, I'm going to bring a $250 Visa card to give away. There's just two quick things you need to do to get this Visa card, and I hope it helps for Christmas. Number one is we need a donation of $1,000 or more to the Chili Open. And number two, it's got to be by someone who's never given before. So I will have a $250 gift certificate, Visa gift certificate. If you come in with $1,000, but somebody comes in with $1,250 or $5,000, they get it. But it's a little challenge to maybe get us to enjoy the Christmas party, which we will anyways. But I just want to throw that out there. I thought this might be a nice little incentive to find somebody new to help give to the Chili Open this year. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Jeff. And thank you to everyone who joined in via Zoom. Thank you to everyone here in the room. We've got about 27 or 28 people. And again, what a joy to have all you Kiwanians here. And we are looking forward to your big event at the John S. Knight Auditorium on February 10th. And we'll be participating with you. And as Stephanie mentioned, when we were back there at the table getting some water, she said, you know, we have a lot in common and we should be doing a few things together more often. Tom, you have. Yes, thank you. Yes, Mary Weaver had posted on Zoom about her son, and I'd like to read it. And thank you, Tom, for bringing that up. Let me just read it. A family member, my 54-year-old son, learned on Friday that he's been added to the National Liver Transplant List to receive a liver, which he desperately needs. Whenever we receive the call that an organ is available, he will travel from Wilmington, North Carolina to Durham, North Carolina, where the Duke Transplant Center is located. And I will also travel from Copley, Ohio to Durham. I will serve as Matt's caregiver for as long as needed, which will probably be 2 months more. Please keep us in your prayers. And thank you again, because yes, that's a pretty serious need. And so we do pray along with you, Mary, for Matt, that we're able to find that they're able to find a transplant that would work. So with that, God bless all of you, and may you enjoy your family and your friends this Thanksgiving. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.